Hello everyone, and my name is Steven.
Hey guys, this is Justin.
And the first combo of the day is going to be Red Escape and Red Resourceful Block. It's a really cool combo that you can use to gain a level without having to use any anger at all. So first of all, you're going to stop an energy attack with Red Escape, which is going to level you from level 1 to level 2. And then you're going to stop a physical attack with Red Resourceful Block. You're going to de-level and get back to level 1. Here's the cool part. Because you get to choose what order that your cards are going to happen at the end of combat, you decide to go with Red Escape first. So you're at level 1. You decide to use Red Escape's end of combat effect. You lose a personality level, but you can't. So you just stay at level 1. Then you decide to use Red Resourceful Blocks gain a 1 MP level at the end of combat. So you end up going to level 2. It requires no anger, and you end up netting a level. Now this only works that if you're at level 1 at the end of combat, obviously, or if somehow you get multiple through, but you'll end up ending at level 2 without having to pay any anger at all, or use any anger at all. So it's a pretty sweet combo. Keep that in mind if you want to do some level jumping. It's also super fun just to go ahead and level jump on red anyways with the card draw.
I think it's an interesting combo because it gets around the cards that affect anger, like Wall Breaker for one. And it only works on level 1, yes, but it seems like some decks, you really want to get off your level 1, especially in a red deck. You want to be at least level 2 before you start doing a lot of your cool effects, or just get powerful on your personality. So it's a quick way if you can pull the two cards together, and of course your opponent has a physical and an energy attack. It's a quick way to just get that jump real quick. Say, hey, guess what? I'm not going to stay on level 1 forever. I'm just going to go to level 2. Yeah. And there's really nothing that your opponent can do to stop you.
Definitely. It's definitely awesome. And while we're talking about Red Resourceful Block, I just want to throw this out there. It's pretty quick. Garlic Jr. level 1, obviously awesome for MPP. But if you can time it right, you can literally use his level 1, gain the level to his level 2, stop an attack to get back to level 1, and since he needs 2 less anger to advance the level, go ahead and gain 3 anger in that same combat to hit level 2, and then you'll still gain your 1 level at the end of combat from Resourceful Block. Ended up putting you at level 3 at the cost of 5 anger after using his power, instead of having to pay 10 anger, which is pretty sweet.
Very sweet. Of course, that's Garlic Jr. though.
It is just Garlic Jr. That is true.
No, but he's good. That's what he does. Dragon Balls and MPP.
So next card on our list is Blue Observation Drill.
Blue Observation Drill. So Steven here, the last tournament that he went to, apparently there was a lot of I don't know, I guess people weren't sure whether they liked the card or not. People were torn between it, I guess, whether it's good or whether it's bad. Honestly, I think the card is awesome. Now, there was someone else he was talking to who said he didn't like the fact that it was a rare, but, rarity to me is kind of irrelevant. If the card is good, then use it. Who cares what the rarity is? But in this situation, yeah, you can't use Endurance yourself. It's a blanket effect. It affects everybody. But you're going to have this in your deck. You're the one that constructed your deck. You're going to know that you're running a drill that stops Endurance. So you can construct your deck to not have very much Endurance anyways. Don't worry about using those cards that you only put in your deck for the Endurance. Those Endurance 3 or Endurance 4 kind of cards that entice you to put them in your deck just because of the Endurance, but you don't really care about their main effects. Don't worry about that. Don't have any of those filler Endurance cards. Run these drills. Have a beatdown deck. Physical or energy. Blue can do them both, to be honest. And it's really going to hurt. It's really going to hurt your opponent. I don't know. I think the card's great. I don't know why people don't like it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it does negatively affect you, but if, like you said, if you're constructing your own deck, you can play around it. You can play smart with it. I mean, come on, we just thought about the True Power thing too. I mean, you use this
right,
and then True Power. I mean, that's energy attack for 10. You're also, a thing about blue is you're defending yourself a lot. So, I mean, you always have your drill, or your mastery, to stop an attack. So, yeah, you have this in play. Yeah, you might take a little bit of damage, especially if you're going hardcore beatdown, but you have naturally more defense than everybody else. So instead of having to rely on endurance, you passively have defense.
Right, just from the mastery alone, right? You're gonna have a defense from an attack. Even if you don't have any defenses in your hand, you still may be able to stop something.
Yeah.
And also, it's really meant for beatdown decks. I mean, that's endurance not being able to be used is really only beneficial to a beatdown deck, in my opinion. And if that's the case, who cares if you can't use your endurance? The goal is to kill them before they kill you. And if you've made your deck correctly, you're going to do that with this drill.
Definitely. Definitely. So, next card on our list. Magic from the pile. Alright, looks like we got Kami. Alright, so just want to throw this one out there. Kami is awesome, but we're going to talk about him mainly due to the fact that this says when this card is leaving play. When it's leaving play, for any reason, search your life deck for a Dragon Ball and place it into play. Okay, yeah, place it in play, whoop-de-doo, but you get a Dragon Ball. Now,
For free?
full free. Now, after pulling these two cards out, you already know where I'm going with this. Okay, so Kami's in play, and you know what? I got this free energy attack. We're talking about free now. We're on a free kick already. So we got this energy attack. It does one life card. One life card. But I can destroy an ally and make it deal additional +4. So I have a free energy attack that kills Kami, does 5 life cards of damage, and gets me a Dragon Ball. Oh wait, since Kami leaves play as the immediate effect of this card, I'm going to grab Dragon Ball 1, which means all my attacks do +1 life card. I just performed a free energy attack doing 6 life cards of damage. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty freaking good.
That's pretty good.
If you're playing orange or black, that's going to be 7 life cards of damage. If you're playing black, that's the power stage on top of that.
Not to mention just the fact that you got a Dragon Ball, which interacts with like 1,000 other cards to begin with, so
Right.
you know it could set you up for future combos or just put you in a better position in general.
Yeah, most definitely. And if you're playing Namekian in this case as well, if you get, even if you get Dragon Ball 1 with it, it protects your other Dragon Ball still, which is protected by your mastery if you have one Dragon Ball out there. And on top of that, you mill them for 1. So yeah, you're not dealing the extra life card from, your orange mastery or your black mastery, but you actually just straight up mill 1 from them as well as this, going with this combo.
Oh yeah.
And then just to make matters worse, let's just overpowering attack, bring Kami right back. So now Kami's in play. I'm going to get another Dragon Ball, especially if my opponent decides to kill Kami, or the next time I draw energetic left bolt, I get to do my combo all over again. Overpowering attack's going to do 5, probably 6 life cards because I got Dragon Ball 1 with Kami, and it's a really good combo that is going to be abused. I know it is.
Oh, for sure. For sure. You can get. Just having that right there, having Kami, the 3 energetic left blast and 3 overpowering attacks. That's 3 Dragon Balls. Just from that. From Kami himself, basically.
Yeah.
He's the only card that searches for a Dragon Ball. You're just abusing him. And you could abuse him even more with other cards if you wanted to. Other cards that discarded allies and cards that got your allies back.
Yeah.
These are just the best, these are the freestyle ones you can use in any deck.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome. Alright. So what's next on our list? Do we remember? Oh yeah, it's Confrontation. That's what's next. So apparently, okay, there we go. Getting disconnected there. Alright, so I know that some people, hands down, will say stare down is better than Confrontation. And I have nothing against you if you decide that. I am a heroes person. I prefer to play heroes 99.9% of the time. But I just want to throw this out there for Confrontation, because it has an extra use that I don't feel stare down gets. And because of this, I think Confrontation is just as equal, if not sometimes better, than stare down in certain situations. So Confrontation, it's going to shuffle a card in your opponent's hand back into their deck. Stare down, they lose the card to their discard pile. There's a lot of discard pile manipulation now, so they can probably easily get that card back, especially if it's on top or on bottom of their discard pile. Regenerating 1 and then left bolting or the Namekian card drawing into the bottom card of their life deck. But even not counting all those crazy combos that they could pull with it, think about using Confrontation on a more strategic level. Instead of going into combat just using Confrontation, like a villain would probably use it as a hero. Think about this on this scale, that, yeah, your opponent's going to get, a mystery card off on you that's in their hand while you have Confrontation that you could easily use. But if they use any card that sets up their deck from their at all, you can Confrontation on your second card and then shuffle their deck and totally screw up their plan. You have Namekian that will regenerate cards. You have Orange that puts cards on top of their deck. I have a buddy of mine who super loves to use that orange energy attack that puts a energy combat card on top of their deck as an immediate effect, and he gets power point every time because it has so much endurance on it that literally it's so awesome when I'm like, okay, you know what? I got a confrontation. Instead of me, starting off with a confrontation, I'm just going to be like, okay, I'll take the first one, or I'll let you do the first one on me. More than likely, I have at least one defense in my hand, and then I'll confrontation into the second action of my turn, and it totally screws up his plans. Whatever he stacked on top of his deck, it's gone. I don't have to worry about that endurance. It's going to be down further into his deck, and I don't have to worry about it. Now my next attack, I can possibly get a crit on, which I knew for a fact that I couldn't get a crit a while ago.
Right. It can definitely foil your opponent's plans. I mean, I like to play a lot of Namekian, and Namekian is extremely effective at stacking your deck. I mean, putting cards on the top or on the bottom or whatever, it can do it, and it can draw those cards and just set yourself up to keep chain drawing cards. And if you use that, and you just completely use that at the most opportune moment and just completely disrupt that cycle, you can shut down an entire combo. I mean, I have to be careful not to shuffle my own deck with card effects, and make sure I arrange everything, correctly in the discard pile, and rejuvenate things in the right order, just to set up it's a lot of work to set the combos up, and just having one simple little confrontation and having the deck get shuffled can completely destroy it. So it's extremely effective in that sense.
Yeah. So keep that in mind, guys. Confrontation has multiple purposes. All right. Let's see. What do we got next? Oh, I'm pretty sure I know what we got next. Yep. I'll dig your grave.
I'll dig your grave.
And let's go ahead and throw this out here. Might as well. Both ultra rares from set 3. Both beautiful cards.
They're both great. I love. Let me rephrase. I love them both.
It's probably my favorite ultra rares release so far.
I might actually have to agree with you. Just because of their versatility, I mean, you can really use them in whatever deck you want.
Yeah, definitely.
Granted, they work the most effectively in beatdown decks, especially I'll Dig Your Grave, just because of its the prevention clause. But yeah, they're great.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, come on, energy tag for 10. Yeah.
10. I mean, it costs 2, which is like the standard energy attack cost.
Yeah.
Only costs 2. Yes, you have to use it as your first attack, but you know what? It's really not that big of a deal, honestly. If they're going to stop it, they're going to have. If they can stop it, they're going to. I mean, it's just one of those cards where they will stop it. You will get a defense out of it, if nothing else. It's not like a dinky little energy attack for 3, and they're deciding, should I save my defense? No, they're just going to stop true power every single time. Mm-hmm. So even though you're forced to open with it, you're at least, if they have a defense, you're going to get rid of it, and that's going to open you up for your other cards that maybe have some hit effects or something like that to use afterwards.
Right. It's really good for energy beatdown decks. And I know that a lot of people, they have the problem with this card because if stopped, you banish your own discard pile. And I totally understand that. But if you come to think about it, there's a lot of, there's still a decent amount of decks out there that the way they play, they don't need a discard pile. Some Saiyan beatdown decks don't actually rely on the regeneration. A lot of black... I mean, I especially remember the first set, my buddy complained all the time that he literally, once something hit his discard pile, he couldn't really get it back. And I don't, black still has some problems getting stuff back from their discard pile. So, I mean, losing your discard pile cannot, it could still be in your favor even if you lost your discard pile. And if you play early game and you do beat down anyways, and you pull this first turn and you get maybe a second one on second turn, and you're playing energy beat down, it doesn't, you lost 5 cards in your discard pile, but you just totally owned your opponent.
Right. I mean, regardless of whether your discard pile's there or not, your life deck, you just got a big life deck advantage on it.
Totally.
I mean, I've used the card successfully, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, what can they do? 10 life cards. I mean, straight up.
And with that blue great. Card, no endurance with the drill. That's
with the drill we were just talking about. That's one of the few cards that can actually affect true power because it says that the damage can't be modified, and it has to be the first attack that you perform. So it puts a lot of restrictions on when and how you can use the card. But yeah, the blue observation drill is one of the few cards that can actually affect it. So because they can't use endurance. So if it does successfully hit them, Yeah, they're going to take a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty.
It will be devastating.
Well, we can't give all the love to true power. We gotta talk about I'll dig your grave a little bit.
Yes, we do.
So you want to start this one off?
Sure, yeah. I'll dig your grave is fantastic. I think in any beatdown deck. I mean, even if you're running an energy beatdown deck, it's still nice to have because it just says you know the damage from the rest of your attacks cannot be prevented in this combat. It may not be the most efficient thing to run an energy beatdown deck, but even just having the secondary clause is so amazing. Because if you're not running someone like Turles, or you're not running, the blue observation drill, who can't use endurance, just the secondary effect of not having your damage prevented can mean all the difference in the world against certain deck types. I know blue has several cards now that prevent damage from attacks, and just endurance in general. It just gets around all of it, and essentially, if your opponent can't stop your attacks, you're going to be doing critical hit after critical hit after critical hit, and there's really nothing they can do to stop you. I don't know if you want to comment on that or not, but
well, I'm just what I wanted to throw out there honestly is, and I know I actually been using I have a playset of these, and I've been using them with my Turles, which I know that it could be kind of silly, but what I've noticed though is we had a lot of problem in set 2, or at least I had a lot of problem dealing with the God Goku. Especially blue God Goku, where his attack table was like naturally like 4 or something. I was playing, I tested out a red God Goku, and I would shoulder grab starting off for 7 power stages. It's a +3, and it was doing 7 power stages. And I realized when I was playing I'll Dig Your Grave with Turles, he gets dealing 6 power stages. Actually, I need to double check that real quick. No, never mind. Anyways. Regardless of Turles, ignore the Turles part. But 6 power stages. That's just straight up 6 power stages versus God Goku. Now, if God Goku's hitting you with a modifier of the attack table with a 7, and you come in there with a 6, no matter how weak you are versus him, that is a big deal. And bringing God Goku down 6 stages, I mean, that puts him in, I'm pretty sure, category B. Maybe
down to C, I think,
Is it C? Yeah.
C.
So, I mean, that will level anyone out. Like, even if you're weaker than your opponent, I'll Dig Your Grave being successful by itself as a physical attack doing 6 power stages will bring whoever they are down to your level so you can keep beating them down.
Right. Like, in itself, it is a very powerful attack in its own right. Yeah. So, yeah, absolutely. The 6 stages is a massive attack by itself. And of course you get the bonus, oh, by the way, you can't prevent my damage this combat.
Right, yeah. And that's not the counting modifiers on that either. I mean, if you're playing, black, it gets an extra power stage, so that's 7 power stages. If you're playing red or anything else that adds power stages, it's still going to be nice.
And then also, on top of that, to top it all off, you have the situational hit effect to, if you can advance your MP1 level to advance your opponent's MP1 level. Now, at first glance, it may not seem that great because your opponent also gets to level up with you, and you can't win by MPP if you choose to do that. But if your opponent is sitting pretty on a certain level, they don't want to level up. They're not in any hurry to go anywhere, and they're just stacking drills in play. Yeah, God Goku. God Goku, notorious for this. Just sit on level 1, stack a whole bunch of drills in play, and just beat the hell out of you. You force them to level up. I mean, that could win you the game right there. Because they're going to get rid of so much of their advantage by discarding their drills. And he's going to get, especially in God Goku's case, he's going to get weaker when he levels up. That's probably not going to be the case with anyone else. But, just the drills in general, I think, is the biggest point of that. Or if they just happen to have a very powerful personality power, and you just want to get them off of that level because you don't like the effect of it, or maybe their power's kind of screwing you over at the moment. It can be extremely effective.
Yes.
And you don't have to do it if you don't want to. It's just a bonus.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I'm not gonna lie. When I first read that card, I thought it was a mandatory. You had to level your opponent, and I was like, "This is so cheesy." But then after finding out it's a if you want to or not, there's so many situations that you can use this to your advantage. It's gonna be a card that is valuable for a long time because you can use it in so many future situations that you can't think of now, but later they're going to come up, and you're going to be like, dude, I need to level my opponent up. I don't, those 6 power stages might not do anything to them, but if I level them up, I'm going to be able to, I'm going to be able to do other things. That's going to make the game so much better in my favor.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think honestly, it's going to be a staple in pretty much all physical beatdowns for sure. Physical beatdown decks, it's going to be a staple. 3 copies.
Oh yeah.
In all of them, probably from here to the end of the game, unless they make something that has a similar effect to replace it. But
right. Well, guys, that's all the cards for the day. So I hope you enjoy. Once again, my name is Steven.
Yep, and I'm Justin.
And comment below. Leave any comments that you want for cards. If you had any awesome combos come up while you're playing, you want us to review them, mention them, please comment about them. Please subscribe and like the video if you liked it. And everyone, I hope you have an amazing day.